It was like today, a special Saturday atmosphere as the wedding bells ring in sync with the love in the hearts of both bride and groom. Finally, our knight in shining armor had arrived. After waiting for long hours at the bus stop of Spinsters, a bus had just stopped. A luxurious bus he was, tall, rich, and handsome. Well, she was like a love goddess. The way the white wedding gown adorned her already embroidered face, sparks from her electric smile, charges words to spill from his firm face but loose lips. Oh, that I had 1,000 tongues to tell you how much I love you, he whispered. As he walked down the aisleway, cousins and relative cars parked in traffic like drug trafficking. She was this white drug, covered in transparent veil. Everyone was staring at like police catch thief. She gets to the altar. She says, I do and him too. Two become one. Marriage is honorable and all, with the bed undefiled, and this union could prove it. So I want to make a toast. Cheers to every virgin in the house whose legs did them like overcooked spaghetti but did not allow the water to spill from the boiling pot, to quench the fire on the altar of their love for the one whose eyes is full of fire. But the water of his word quenches every wrong desire. Cheers to those who fled at the face of lust, through whom very few fight it through this world to marry as virgins. Cheers to those who mocked by friends who failed the mock exam of purity. Maybe that's why they get an A in heartbreak, and their voices ring like clumsy secondary school break-up time bells with the news that all men are the same. No wonder school wasn't any different. Going to school is not proof of education. You can ask Bill Gates, even though you can get educated in school. Ask Bernd Carson. Likewise, sex is not the proof of love. Ask the prostitute you meet on the street, even though every lovely marriage has sex following it. Please do not ask your parents this, and if you still do not believe, then why aren't prostitutes the most loved people in the world? Take this thought as a bulletproof whenever it comes to you with the gun of his tongue, from his arsenal of words, striking you with bullets of seduction with words like, hey baby, I know I'm a player, but you're my Champions League final. You've won the second half of my heart 2-0. My Liverpool's slippery every time you strike me with your round eyes like Salah does the football. You never walk alone, and I can die for you. Tell him, too late, someone already did, and this is love. Christ died for us while we were yet sinners. Keep this thought at the first bank of your minds and be ready to withdraw whenever it charges you with words. Pay him in full words and tell him, keep the change. Just to those waiting for God's time, I have good news for you. God's time is not the best time, it's the only time. Every other time is a waste of time. Timeless. No, like many young people, I've thought about my wedding night. When family and friends are gone and you're left to light the fires of love like fireflies does a dark night. But this is exactly where I have a problem. With people who are married to Christ but still remain what I call spiritual virgins. Married women behaving like reverend sisters without reverence for the presence of a high priest. I don't understand how we claim to be married to Christ, but when our ex and xvideos.com asks us out, we say we are single and searching, so they Google us, and when they're done exploring our website, we're caught in the internet of sin, and then we blame our spouse Christ for not being a protective firewall. When we forget when we had skin-to-skin penetration with iniquity, the blood of your innocence stained the bed sheets, and now you're guilty. So we run away in pride and masturbate our ego's eye, which goes before a fall. We never allow the Lord's hands to touch us, nor his words to penetrate us through. Why you reform holy for your husband, the holiest of all? For man does not see as God sees. God looks at the heart. For small time, we'll run around in circles looking for a life partner. When no matter how we go slow before ring road, they will never leave you, not forsake you. But because you know, see when they ring, you can't run around the relationship track like Usain Bolt. Why do we friend zone God? Singing songs like, I am a friend of God. When he wants to be more intimate with us, it's like the wedding night we talked about. When family and friends are gone and you stretch your hand to hold your spouse, he turns, looks at you, eye to eye, never blinks, and then says, don't touch me. We're just friends. Friends, these words get to me every single time it is uttered. You think you have them until your life falters, and then there's no one else to put you up from this scatter. Even the Lord Jesus had 12 of them, but only one stood at his cross. And let me announce to you, he was not just a friend, he was a lover. Friends are like your shadows. They leave you when the place is dark. But lovers, they stick with you because then they can see you more clearly than the dark night. Friend, do you betray me with a kiss? Jesus asked Jesus Iscariot at the Garden of Gethsemane, and I ask you this wedding night, do you betray him with the kiss of parading yourself like a godly Christian when you have no idea what it means to be married to Christ? We just take Christ to the altar, and after the ceremony is done, we just keep the Ancient of Days in our wardrobe for days like old clothes, no functional purpose, but we just keep him locked up in his matrimonial home. But as long as there's life, there's hope. So I implore you, come boldly this wedding night to the throne of grace and ask him to fill you with his passion and love. Make sure you consummate your wedding this night. As for me, since the night I met him, I couldn't keep my legs to myself. A former porn addict now seducing especially sinners to grace. And if you don't live with anything, live with this, please. Spiritual virginity does not exist. It's either you're being raped by iniquity or you give yourselves willingly to the King of eternity. Peace.